Today, I'm going to be dropping some real valuable sauce for you guys. We're going to be going over detachment and how sometimes detaching yourself away from your goals will actually be able to get you closer. I have personal experience with this. I will dive deep into a couple stories so you guys really understand the pinpoint example of how this works in real life. And also, what made me actually want to make this video and realize this as a whole is, if you guys haven't seen, the World Cup has been going on in soccer slash football pretty recently over in North America. And there was this guy for the Norwegian national team. His name was Haaland, Erling Haaland, if you guys know who that is. Doesn't really matter. Essentially, he was along like the whole thing, he's super down to earth, even though he's mega famous, probably has close to 100 million followers, one of the best players in the world. But he's super down to earth. And if you guys saw his interviews, he was always very much detached away from the tournament. Now, they did not go on to win, but they did beat Brazil and they went pretty far compared to what everybody thought they would. They were kind of a dark horse, just to kind of give you guys a backstory. But if you watched his interviews, when they beat Brazil or whatever, they were kind of, he was just saying, nah, we'll probably lose to whoever we play next. Or I don't really know what's going to happen. Brazil's a crazy team before the Brazil match. Like, it's going to be tough. I don't even know if we can win. And he was always very much like detached away from the result. He kept saying that we're going to do our best. We're going to do what we have to do to be able to win, but it's going to be tough, blah, 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 right? So he was very detached and everybody was super confused. Obviously, I was born and raised in Norway myself. I've been in the US, I've been everywhere, right? So for me, seeing that, everybody was super confused. Like, why is this guy so detached? Why doesn't he really believe they can win? So on and so on. And that's when you realize that he's very into all of the mindset side of things. And he talks about this at times, but not as publicly. So I have experienced the same exact thing, and being able to detach yourself away from your goals sometimes will actually get you to them than when you chase something. Because you guys have to realize that a lot of you are just chasing, chasing, chasing. Okay, so you're chasing this dream, you're chasing this thing, you're chasing this goal so freaking hard, and not saying that it's anything bad with that. However, if you have realized, if you ever play tag, or if you've done any sort of like soccer, football, chasing type of game, you'll realize that whenever you chase something, it tends to run away from you. Sometimes you catch it, but sometimes you don't because it just runs away. And that is usually what happens in life. When you chase something so hard, usually you fall short. Now, I'm not saying to not chase or to not try to reach something, because that is a vital part of actually achieving the goal that you want. However, if you chase something so hard that it just runs away from you, then chances are you probably won't even get there to begin with. So realizing this is going to help you out a ton, because I'm not saying to not want that goal that you have, whether it be making money, X amount of followers, whatever it might be, right? But what usually tends to happen is, if you have a goal over here and you chase it, it just runs away. But if you have that same goal, you want it, but you detach yourself away from this and just focus on what you have to do to be able to get that, somehow it actually doesn't run away from you, but it just ends up coming to you anyway. Because what really matters is the output that goes in, instead of you wanting this so bad, because you'll see this a lot. And what I mean with my personal examples, which I think will really hit home for a lot of you, if you guys don't know, I pretty much talked my whole story a bunch of times on social media at this point, but essentially I made a shit ton of money, lost all my money, and then I had to do something completely else to get that money back. And when I was kind of trying to get all this money back, I ended up doing a lot of sales, taking sales calls for famous influencers and so on. So I was taking calls all day. And on these sales calls, I would a lot of times, when I didn't really have good periods, I would really need to sell. So I was just chasing that shit. I was really chasing it, just like basically desperate for a sell to be able to make some more money because I had a slump. And what do you see happen is when you're like super desperate for something, people usually pick up on that subconsciously, and I ended up getting less sales even though I was trying harder and really doing everything that I could to get it. But for whatever reason, people sense that you're desperate for it and you try so hard that you end up actually not getting it. So what ended up happening is that when I decided to detach myself away from the sale, because I wasn't no longer focusing on the sale, I was focusing on helping the person on the other side and walking them through the steps that they needed to go through to be able to get the goal that they wanted. And just having that conversation in a less salesy way and more so just an authentic, let me genuinely help you. And if we could not help you, I would be the one to say so instead of just saying, yeah, we can help you to everybody because we can't. So I started turning more people away. People that I would desperately try to get in, I would turn them away and genuinely tell them that we wouldn't be able to help you and there's probably some other person out there that is more qualified to help them than what we are. And nobody really does this in sales. The guys that know do this, but the guys that do not know that were desperate like me, they would never turn down somebody like that. And what ended up happening was that, yeah, maybe you lose a couple sales, but you actually end up getting more as a whole because now you're genuinely helping the person and you're not desperate for the sell anymore. So what you're doing is you're just focusing on the goal is still here, but you're just focusing on helping the person on the other side. And what happened was that that goal or that sale just fell into my lap essentially because the sale was never the focus. The sale was never the thing that I was chasing. It was just a result of the actions that I did. Let that sink in. The sale and the money that I got was just a result, or was the result of the actions that I did. So the focus was not, I need this money, I need this money, I need this money, because quite frankly, that is not something you can control. Whether somebody buys or not, or whatever, it's not something that you have control over. But what you do have control over is what actions you can do to help the person on the other side. And then he will just naturally pay you because you're helping him with the thing that he needs help with. It is really that simple. And that is the whole point in everything that I kind of have to say with when it comes to making money online. I've talked about this in previous videos as well. When you're trying to make money, whether that be online or in any sort of way, you cannot control necessarily how much money that you make. You can control prices, you can control who you help, how many people you help, and so on, but somebody has to pay you for you to be able to make money. So nobody's really just going to give you money just to give you money. There has to be an exchange of value. So instead of focusing on, I need 10K a month, I need this, I need that, focus on the actions that you can do to be able to provide the value that the person needs so that you can get the money as a result of the help that you do and not the money just because you chase it so bad. I hope that makes sense because that is some of the most valuable information that you will get when it comes to making money. Detachment gets you closer to your goals if your goals are set up in the way that we talked about. So the way you should be structuring your goals moving forward is not, oh, I want to hit this X number or that X number or whatnot. The way you should be structuring your goals moving forward should be more action based, more action focused. Do X amount of this, do Y amount of this, do Z this way. Because the actions are what's going to get you closer to that goal. It's not the, oh, I want to hit 10K a month. I always talk about how to actually do goal setting, and the proper way to break down goals is not to just set up a goal and chase that, because then it runs away from you. The proper way to set up a goal is to reverse analyze every step of a big goal into smaller goals and then focus on the inputs to get to the big goal. So if your big goal is to make 10K a month, then reverse analyze how much money that is a week, how much money that is a day, and then reverse analyze what you have to do to make X amount of money per day, per week, per month. Because when you do that, you have a big goal, and what a big goal turns into is just a lot of small actionable steps which you can do day in and day out until that big goal just naturally comes as a part of doing those small actions. It is actually pretty mind-blowing when you understand this. And it's mind-blowing that a lot of people do not understand this at all, which is why the people that know this are the ones that are making money, while the people that do not know this are just stuck in a loop over and over and over again, doing the same exact thing, never really breaking that wheel. Since you just are in the situation trying to chase something, but it just keeps running away from you. So that's why you feel like you're in a circle, even though you might be doing different things. You're still in a circle because the fundamental part of it all is that you're still chasing it. So if your goal is here and you just keep chasing this thing, it just keeps running away from you, right? So you keep chasing, it runs away, and then you change something up, yet it still runs away because fundamentally you're still chasing instead of attracting this to you. I know that kind of sounds maybe a little bit cliche, a little bit weird, but it is genuinely the fundamental part behind attracting something that you want. Detach yourself away and all of a sudden things start to come to you. That does not mean to completely detach yourself from not wanting anything, but detach yourself away from chasing and start attracting by doing the right actions so that the result naturally falls to you. I hope that helps. If you need help, hit me up on Instagram. You can always message me. I'm happy to help with everything. Besides that, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time. Take care.